Good morning, colleagues. I am delighted to have with me today, in celebration of a just incredible accomplishment, the Verdugo Hills High School Academic Decathlon Champions. And this is a first in the school's history. This incredible accomplishment, actually, I'm going to give everybody a moment, sergeants. I'm going to give everybody a moment so we can hear each other. Thank you.
I made it my mission that we would make our name and finally take home the district trophy. And I told everyone that Verdugo world domination is imminent. While that might seem a little dramatic, I mean, we did compete at the regional level, the state level, and the national level. We really exceeded my expectations, and we blew everyone out of the water. It was really amazing to see that all of this work that we had put in, the thousands of hours we had slaved over our resource guides, reading the material, taking these quizzes. It shows how much we have grown throughout the year, how much we care about this, and just the pursuit of excellence and learning and curiosity that is in each and every single one of us.
We'll fight for the Valley next year, but congratulations for that.
Let's just keep it in the Valley altogether,
There
right?
you go.
We're just going to keep it in the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, we got to. The Valley's definitely leading the way on the academic decathlons. Councilmember Padilla.
Thank you, Councilmember Rodriguez, for bringing this great team forward. I actually, funny story, met your parent center director in the community recently and actually was bragging about how some of her Verdugo students were going to be coming to council. And immediately I was like, oh, that must be Monica's next presentation. So it's very nice to see you guys, very nice to meet you guys. I'm just happy that an East Valley school beat the West Valley schools. So that's the internal kind of competitiveness.
That's a new throwdown.
Yeah, exactly. I remember being really, really proud of San Fernando High the year that they took it, right? Taking it away from Granada Hills and from Birmingham. That was a good year too. So congratulations. I know that making it into higher education and whatever college you guys probably have your heart's desired on, it's not as easy as it used to be. But I think being champs of something like this, it's kind of like what my high school mentors used to tell me. You get into the school that you want if you strike your balance between your mind, your body, and your soul, right? They want that perfect student. So for your body, make sure you are engaged in the sports, right? And part of the fabric of that at your campus. Your soul are things like these clubs, right? These clubs that show that you have a personality, that you have great friends, and that you're doing more than just getting the straight A's and taking the honors and AP classes. They want to see that you know how to socialize amongst the realm of your genius. So keep it up, congratulations, and welcome to your City Hall.
You're a really, really, really big deal in our community when a legend shows up to celebrate you. And today we have in our house, the People's House here in the city of Los Angeles, our own local legend, Congresswoman Maxine Waters. Let's please welcome her to give us a few words.
Thank you so very much for that very kind introduction. Mr. President, I am so pleased that you identified a very special human being, a person in our community who has given so much time and service to make sure that we have mental health services at Kedron, someone who has been with Kedron for 43 years, starting with Dr. Jones in his home, and then it was about 1972 that we cut the ribbon for Kedron where it is now. That tells you how old we are. That's all right. I am so pleased and proud that this psychologist decided to give of himself in the way that he has done. I want you to know that Kedron is very special in our community. Not only does it serve the geographical area that is defined, but it services many of our residents all over the city. I want you to know that when we were faced with how we were going to deliver all of the services for COVID, there was a lineup around Kedron, people coming from everywhere to get the services of Kedron, and they performed. Many of us elected officials, Mr. Curran Price, the councilman there, we all got services at Kedron dealing with COVID. And so it's not only the 3,000 or so individuals who get mental health services there, but they have primary doctors there who give primary health care. So it's very important. He has served as CEO and in any number of capacities, and now he is retired. But I want you to know that I learned, and maybe I'm not supposed to tell it, but everybody knows I can't keep my mouth shut, that new village for children that we recently opened up is going to be not only a place where our children, very young, can get services, there'll be training there for everybody dealing with pediatrics and psychology and psychiatrists even. And so I'm very pleased that I heard through the grapevine that it will be named after John Griffith, Dr. John Griffith. And so, Mr. President and members of the City Council, I thank you for honoring him here today. I thank you for recognizing the services that he's provided, but I thank you for understanding that they've been there through thick and thin. I just got in from Washington last night after being awake for 2 days trying to get to the budget and trying to convince the opposite side of the aisle not to vote for a budget that would cut Medicaid, Medicare, and deny the services that we depend on. There is $850 billion cut over the 10-year period of that budget. And so we're going to have to support Kedron in every way that we can. But for the city of LA, I'm worried about the CDBG money. I'm worried about the home money. I'm worried about all of that. But we're not intimidated so that we're not going to fight. We're going to fight as hard as we can for the services for Kedron and for the city of LA and for housing and the homelessness and for HUD and all of that. But right now, today, thank you for focusing on health care, important health care for the children, for the families in our community. Thank you for honoring the services of Dr. John Griffith. It is so important that he understands that we appreciate all that he has done. And even though he's retired, we're still going to call on him when we need him and when we have an emergency, because that's who I've called on for years. No matter who is the CEO, no matter what, I call him in the middle of the night. I get people over there. And I want you to know, I want to tell you, this Kedron has served some of the people in the Hollywood community who found themselves in difficult, I know because I have to get them there. So thank you so very much for honoring this most important human being.
Thank you. One more time for Congresswoman Maxine Waters.
All right, and finally, the man who makes the magic happen, the coach who led them on to victory. Coach Cotton, come on up.
How you guys doing? I'm Coach Cotton. I've been a part of Westchester basketball for 36 years. I was an assistant for 32 years. Took over the program 4 years ago, and trying to keep it at the level it was before Coach Zam left. We had a lot of great times together, won a lot of games, won a lot of championships. So for this year's group, my thing was I wanted to win a championship for them. You know, my whole staff, they never won a championship. And most of the kids on the team had never won a championship. So that was my goal. So we worked really hard. We had a tough part of the season. We started 2-5. No one thought we would be able to do it, but I stayed on the kids and kept pushing and pushing and pushing. Things turned around. They started to build confidence, and we just kind of took off. Won, 15 or 16 out of our last 17 games. Won the Open Division title. And for me, like I told them, I won a lot. I want to see them be happy. So that was my thing, was to make sure that these kids have a chance to win and know how it feels to win. Because like I told them, I've been there, I understand it. So when we won the title, they was like, "Coach, you're not happy." I said, I'm happy. I'm happy for you guys. You know, I don't think any of these cheerleaders ever been a part of winning a championship. So it was great for the school, great for the kids, and for my guys coming back, I think we have a chance to win it again. So thank you guys. I'd like to thank Ms. Millay, our AP of athletics, who have went through miracles for me this year. I mean, we had some trips that we didn't think was gonna fall through, and she worked to make sure those things happen for us. So I'm proud of her. And Miss Alexander, who's probably one of our biggest fans, who's been around the program 25, 30 years. My assistant coach, Damon, who played for us, but never had a chance to win a title, so this was his first title. I have 3 seniors that's been with me for 4 years. I have Gary, who just came this year. Caden, 2 years. Nas, 1. Malachi, this will be his 4th year. JB, who we just got last year, and Pat. So I'm proud of these guys. You know, people don't understand the things that we go through with these kids. You know, all the ups and downs, the pushing, and just trying to get the best out of them. Because for me, I'm like a parent when they're with me. So, and even the girls, they make me mad sometimes. Every day. Some of them I didn't like when they was 9th graders. Oh, wow. But, hey, they figured me out and I figured them out. So, hey, we the best of friends now. So, and even like some of my kids, we've struggled with, with discipline and, doing the things that they need to do to get better. But they figure it out. And at the end of the day, we laugh about it, we have fun about it, and go on to the next day. But I'd like to thank you guys for having us in. Ms. Huff, I appreciate everything. Your office, it's been good to us. And Ms. Park. And Ms. Park, yeah. I've been communicating with somebody. My man over here. We've been communicating, trying to get this stuff together. We've had several dates that we had to cancel because I had my kids traveling, playing travel ball. So this was the week that I can get them together. So I appreciate you guys, everything you guys have done. And I know they do. They probably ready to go eat now. So, but thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Wow.
Councilmember Park, we have some members on the queue. If we're ready for that?
Okay, you want to do that now? Or?
Oh, it's up to you.
Okay.
And I forgot to thank our principal, Ms. Grenner. She's been good to me too.
And Coach, you even got me choked up. Your pride in these young people is palpable, and you deserve to be proud. You coach champions. So I have the privilege of joining with Councilwoman Hunt on behalf of a very, very proud city of Los Angeles. We wanted to congratulate you on this historic, incredible win. Congratulations.
Okay, when you hear your name, if you could line up on the left side of the chambers. House left, stage right, and
Public comment only.
Good. Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
How you doing today, Madeline? How have things been? Now you're up near Bob Bloomingfield. Just want you to know, don't ever treat a veteran or a person with American Disability Act like how you did last Friday to several people. You're a piece of fucking trash. Do you understand that?
please
how you
address the
treated
council.
people? That was wrong. And you're saying that you're exempt under the American Disability Act? What the fuck are you going to do to me? I have the time, money, and resources. So go to your deputy city attorney and start whining. Everything was done, audio and video, not only by myself, by other people. So you be the biggest cunt you can. Thank you.
Good morning. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Thank you, my homie attorney. My name is Shaniqua Figueroa. Start with item number 16. Is about the beautification effort cleanup in the City Council District 14. I want to thank our city attorney for this agenda item because right now we have millions struggling hotel workers. They end up living in Skid Row in Council District 14. They cannot afford to live in a mansion like you do. That's the reason why they cannot afford a toilet. They cannot afford to have a urinal. That's why they have to pee and poop on the street of District 14. That's the reason why you need to hire someone to have this beautification program on City Council District 14. But city attorney, why can't you just make sure you pay the hotel worker $200 minimum wage so that they have their own toilet, so they can have their own big mansion like you? They don't have to live on the street. Come on. Now, let's move on to our next item. Is about item number 17. Is about LGBT Heritage Month. City attorney, I'm really sad that we have millions of hotel workers. They are actually LGBT, but you continue to ignore the LGBT hotel worker population. Why you continue to do that? You ignore me, and you ignore me because I'm LGBT. That's okay, but you are not allowed to discriminate LGBT hotel worker. We have so many LGBT hotel workers, they do not have access, they cannot afford to their gender changing surgery because of you continue to refuse to recognize their LGBT gender status. So I want to ask you, I am begging you, city attorney, that you provided all of your colleagues the free gender change surgery to your LGBT co-worker. So I want to advocate the same LGBT services to every single Los Angeles hotel worker. Now let's move on to item number 20. Item number 20 is about a reward offer for the identification of the murder suspect. Now, I want to ask you, city attorney, why there are so many hotel workers are continue to suffering from the violent crime on the street? Why can't you just provide a $200 minimum wage for hotel workers?
So, Speaker, this has nothing to do with the item, as you stated yourself.
Yes,
it is an offer of reward for a specific murder incident. So please stick to the agenda items, and we'll move you to general public comment.
Hotel workers continue to be the victim. What I'm trying to tell you is that you continue to offer reward offer to trying to ask everybody to catch the suspect. But if you can provide $200 minimum wage for hotel workers, every single
so I'm going to move you to general public comment. Go ahead. You have 1 minute.
They will not get hurt by the crime. Now let's move on to general public comment. I am here to continue to advocate. You do not allow me to speak on item 20, I will continue on item 20. Because if every single hotel worker, they have $200, $300 minimum wage, they can have their own bodyguard. They can have their own hotel worker LAPD. So they will be safe. They will not be attacked. They will not be discriminated. But the reason why you are paying them only $30 minimum wage, they cannot have enough protection. They are not allowed to have their own bodyguard services. That's the reason why you continue to discriminate the hotel worker. I want to make sure every single hotel worker, they can afford their own yacht. They can have their own yacht. They can allow to travel everywhere once a month, have a monthly vacation, and then they can have their mansion everywhere in the world they go to. Because hotel worker deserve the mansion, deserve the yacht, the same way like you do. Hotel worker with $100 minimum wage, let's go.
And your time has expired. Next speaker.
Mark me down for general public comment as well as all agenda items 16 and on, and I'll walk you through each
So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
Go for items first?
Yes, please start with the items. Go ahead.
So item number 16, we're talking about a contract regarding sanitation, and interestingly enough, why is it that the city council is so hell-bent on taking money that was originally already paying sanitation workers and trying to do it for the LAPD? What on God's green earth do LAPD officers have to do with being the new street sweepers and cleaners? Why are you putting money into an LAPD union that is already overbloated and taking it away from precious sanitation workers who are doing a legitimate service for the city and keeping it clean? Have you ever walked down some of these districts, whether it be 3, 13, 14 and on? It looks utterly disgusting because of the budget cuts. And again, I don't like LAPD for a lot of things, but why on God's green earth are you trying to make LAPD officers broom sweepers? That just doesn't make any sense. Unless, of course, you are in cahoots with the LAPPL, exactly like people, Richard Campos, who does some of the most disgusting things and hires convicted serial rapists, and yet he's a treasurer on the LAPPL. Moving on to number 22, we're talking about homelessness. What issue does the city have with homelessness, whether it be the Homelessness Committee, this city council, or otherwise? I'll tell you what it has. It doesn't disclose the method of payment for bonds. It doesn't disclose how the Inside Safe program is audited, and it makes all agenda items relating to homelessness, whether it be 22 and on, utterly moot and I would dare say fraudulent, because you're not disclosing how you're using the people's money. But we all know how you are. You're laundering it through nonprofits so that you can wash your hands clean and claim you've done the services and you have a feel-good moment. But the fact of the matter is, it's a giant Ponzi scheme. It's a giant criminal racket, and that's really what's going on with the nonprofits and the Inside Safe program inside Los Angeles. Moving on to number 23 and 24, we have issues discussing charter reform. Here is a damn good point to bring up about charter reform. How about the fact that this city council and all your committees used to take virtual public comment? A good friend of mine, Audit LA, who is disabled and through something totally out of her control, cannot be here today, yet it's not because she doesn't want to be civilly involved and engaged and make public comment. It's because she's disabled, and that's not right. You already have all the infrastructure to take virtual public comment. Various other city committees already do, various other boards do, various other commissions do, and that's outright discriminatory, not only in the ADA standard, but just outright pure resentment and hatred for the constituents of which you serve. Now moving on to general public comment, obviously you city attorney getting geared up for it, and I'm going to keep going on that point. Why are you not taking virtual public comment? I just served the city clerk, all of you members, as well as the president, will be getting a copy of that notice to reconsider administratively before we go forward with suits to reopen virtual public comment for our city council committees and city council proper. It's a damn easy way to do it. All of the rooms you meet in currently already have all the infrastructure. You don't need to buy any licenses. You don't need to buy any microphones. You don't need to buy any videos. It's already all there. Take virtual public comment again and stop discriminating against the ADA and disabled community. Take virtual public comment again and stop discriminating against people who have disabilities. It's a very easy demand, very simple one to remedy immediately. Take virtual public comment again like you did for a very long freaking time, and just like your other boards and commissions already do. The inconsistent practice is the real legal issue at hand. That's what you're going to be caught on in court. So again, take virtual public comment again.
Hi, thank you. My name is Leah Yannington, and I'm speaking on general public comment. I want to thank you, council members. Thank you so much for committing to phasing out oil drilling. Once the ordinance is rescinded, I urge the zoning administrator to reissue the interpretation on well maintenance to protect communities like mine from toxic acid maintenance. I live less than 450 feet from an active drilling site near Pico and Fairfax. That is E&B's Packard site, which has over 50 active oil wells inside. And they have never contacted us when they do acid maintenance. This is very toxic and dangerous to our health. Also, I see when their garage doors open, there's pipes, there's vats of chemicals sitting there. They have no plans for us if there is an accident, a fire, an earthquake, or need for evacuation. And I want to be safe. I want to be alive in this lovely city and enjoy my future. Please help. Thank you.
Next speaker. Afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good morning, sir. And I want to thank you, wish everybody a wonderful weekend. I'd like to speak to 16, 20, and public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Thank you. The first item is beautification. You know, yes, in the 14th, but honestly, when I come down here and I look at the freeways as I drive down here, we've got to start doing something more for the city because we have the Olympics coming up in 4 years. I was privileged to be part of the 84. And the planning and the things that were being done way in advance by probably the greatest mayor ever, Mayor Bradley. It was just amazing how he led us in that. So I'm asking this council, along with the mayor, to let's start doing those things. Let's start preparing now. Let's not be caught with our pants down because we didn't do the things we need to do to make this great city even greater. So I hope we can do that throughout. That's the 14th and throughout the city. Item 20 is about a reward. You know, we have people that come in here and they say, oh, snitches get whatever. You know what? When you lose a family member and somebody is killed, that never goes away. And they are always, they can always be held accountable. So I would hope those that come here and don't realize that until you have to lose somebody or somebody you love does it, that it's horrible and that we got to do everything possible to solve these issues. Now let's go on to the good stuff. Fleet Week, I'm going to, the 15th,
Okay, so
this weekend.
Just to I'm going to move you to general public comment. You can talk
General
about the
public
presentations.
comment,
Go ahead.
yes.
You have 1 minute.
For those of you who have never been down to the 1-5 on Fleet Week, I've been doing it for 6 years now. It is absolutely amazing, and I'm going to say it once again, Mr. McCosker, the people in the 15 are some of the finest, kindest, nicest people you will ever meet. Now that's the whole weekend, but then on the 7th, Sunday in Miss Rodriguez, if you've ever been out to Brand Park, they put on an unbelievable display. And what I like about that is you see all the Latinos who have served this country, some from World War II who have, you know, they're still saluting as much as they can do. They will still do everything they can to salute this country. And though even people like Donald Trump have forgotten those people, you know, it's sad. But Monday you can go over to Mr. Blumenfield's, and they have the best, one of the best parades in Mr. Blumenfield. I'll be in Hendry's on table 10 and look forward to seeing you there, sir. Thank you.
I'll be speaking on item 21.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
1 minute or 3?
So it's 1 minute per item. You've requested item 21, so you have 1 minute for item 21. If there's any other items or if you'd like to speak during general, you can request that as well.
Okay, no worries. Well, I will start off and say good morning, Council President Harris Dawson and all the council members and other dignitaries present today. My name is Brandy Harris, a more than 10-year employee of the City of Los Angeles and the surviving fiance of Akeem Jamal Coburn, affectionately known as AJ, who was senselessly murdered on July 29th, 2020. Thank you. AJ was a hardworking, gentle giant. He was loved by everyone who met him. He was a hands-on father, a proud girl dad, and a dedicated LADWP employee. He loved his family deeply, and we were just months away from our wedding when his life was taken. His daughters lost their dad, his parents lost their son, and I lost my future husband, and everyone who loved them lost a good man. Instead of preparing for our wedding, we were preparing for his funeral. I came before you for 3 reasons today: to remind you of how great a man he was, and to ask that council reinstate this award. And I also want to thank you all for your support. Please help spread the word through media, social media, and billboards so this case stays in the public eye. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. McCosker, for what purpose do you rise?
Comments, but members, in case you didn't hear the first part of that, Akeem was a DWP employee, a valued employee. He was 30 years old when when his life was senselessly taken. Brandy is also in the city family at police, and we're very grateful for you to come here. You know, God bless the memory of Akeem, and God bless you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
I'm going to speak on item number 1.
So item number 1's not open, but you can speak to 1 minute of general public comment if you'd like. Go ahead.
Innocent, thank you very much. The parking recreation part of the library, some of them are not accessible in their violation of the ADA, the American with Disabilities Act. You cannot get accessible park in the city, which you will get a lawsuit if you continue on. Also, the bathroom or the park are not accessible. And I want to make my final comment. How come this is accessible? We should people are not allowed to come in anymore. This is ridiculous. I want to know my city is accessible. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good
Morning,
afternoon.
Bro.
Which items would you like to speak to?
Rob Kwan, I'd like to speak on 23 through 27 and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
So items 23 and 27 are on our Charter Reform Commission, which is maybe almost here. That comes 4.5 months after the legal deadline to make these appointments, 8.5 months after the adopted schedule, and 10.5 months after the law that was signed. But we are here. It only took a wee bit of a push, but I do thank our council president for scheduling these items this week, just like I asked. In light of the timeline that we've been left with, I can't really be picky about these appointments, but I would like to note how happy I am to see Mayor Bassett appoint Melinda Murray. I've seen a lot of people come and go through our ethics commission, and she is without a doubt one of the best. And beyond being really, really smart, well-prepared and attentive, understanding this city, has a really deep appreciation of the public and public comment and listening to everybody, regardless of what they think. And I think you should all, there's 7 of you I can think of right now that owe her a deep debt of gratitude for her leadership in ensuring we have an accessible matching funds program. I was sad to hear a certain council member from the 12th district dump on that program yesterday. But that same council member a week ago was talking about how happy he was to see that we have 3 Asian Americans on this council. A few weeks before that, talking about how happy he was to see that we have a majority women on our council. And keep in mind, John, before you got on this council, there were just 2. Those didn't happen by accident. That was intentional. That was by design. That was why we made those changes, to ensure that people could actually think, I don't have a bunch of wealthy people to turn to, but I got a chance, I got a message. And we've seen that come to fruition. We went from having 1 Asian American on the council to 3, 2 women to 8, 1 incumbent facing a runoff in 15 years to I can't even count. No incumbents being voted out in 17 years. a different world, and that is what is possible through even the smallest of reforms. I wonder if maybe that council member who wants to go back to the old days just misses the old days. And I wonder if that council member remembers that it's a lot easier to find wealthy people to hit up for money on the west side of the valley than it is in Districts 6 and 7 or down in Districts 8 and 9. I want to turn to a few weird wrinkles. Mayor Bass apparently asked all of these appointees to sign undated letters of separation. And maybe that was just a mistake because we had, some form language in there. But this council did pass an ordinance say that the only way you can be removed from the commission is with council approval. And I know the undated letters thing is nothing new, but with the exception of ethics in the police commission, that's not the case. The mayor can just remove whoever she wants. So this is a different beast. It is also notable that we have a deputy director appointed here.
You hold his time really quick. I'm sorry. Mr. Spindler, you know the rules. You were disruptive earlier as well. Didn't warn you then. But do not disrupt another public speaker's time at the podium. Okay? Thank you. This is your first and only formal warning. Go ahead.
I think this appointment of a deputy director, that person is super qualified and will be great. My one concern is that the ordinance y'all passed only says that the mayor and council president, with the council consent, can appoint an executive director. And we have a $1 million budget for this commission. It is super limited. And we just went through a budget conversation. Maybe this money for this staffer is coming from the mayor's office. Moot point. Great. Let's get going. But I do think we should respect this council's authority, the commission's authority, in actually allocating its budget. Lastly, let's get this thing going in full before the recess. Maybe we can get a commission meeting next week. That would be great.
Next speaker. Good afternoon. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
The bitch is back. So let's see, number 29. Yes, in my backyard. You already have an attorney, Blob. Very, very lovely lady representing the city already. How come you hiring another lawyer? Isn't she doing a good job in front of Judge Chalifant? Or did Judge Chalifant receive some documents regarding that representation? I don't know. You'll talk about that in closed session. Now, what about this charter reform shit? You gonna do what? Robert Lewis Jr., you ain't gonna change shit. Raymondo Meza, you ain't gonna change a goddamn thing either. And then we got Christina Sanchez, you ain't gonna do shit either. How can you do it? You're gonna sign a letter of resignation undated in your packet. And all as the mayor gotta do, or the acting mayor after she gets put in prison, but we'll get to that in general, is simply put a date on the undated resignation letter and go to the clerk's office and they fired without any due process. This is not a legal appointment. This is a privilege appointment. It's a pocket veto. And you want to do what? You want to, Gerardo? You want to stop that shit and make it only revocable on council approval? Let's give you Sabel Gerardo goddamn hand. Very good. I'm so impressed. Is it because you're a lawyer and you know the law's being broken? I'm really impressed by this shit. Now, let's talk about Blobbenbleld and his $8,000 fence project. Where is the fence? What is the fence made of? What kind of fence? Is it a fence that discriminates against houseless neighbors like myself? Or is it a pretty fence to do that parking lot over there by the Tarzana Hospital where all the drugs are being sold? You don't want to do that, Bob. they got the tunnel over there by Burbank Boulevard next to the goddamn new Tarzana, the $74 million that they spent to put it open. There's a parking lot there. You just drive on by, you talk to Willie or you talk to Ortega, and you can get a discount today, 15% off of your next fentanyl purchase in CD3. Let's give them a hand. Only available now. Mention Bob Liebenblield or CD3 for your discount. And now,
General public comment.
how time fucking flies. Bob, my name was never called. Nobody called my name. How am I up here talking? Because the cop said, you said to have me come up here and speak. Is that true? Is that what you're doing? What about the randomizer? I thought I had to wait to get up here and speak at the randomizer. What's this bullshit, dude? Well, you can Google overt acts under federal law, and what it is that you are committing acts that aren't necessarily illegal for an illegal purpose, namely to get my ass off of this panel. But anyway, I'll have more to say later, blah, blah, and blah. As you know, I formed a war council. I'm waiting for my inward motion. I want my inward motion so I can sue your ass.
Lovely. Next speaker.
Ray Patel, general comment.
Good afternoon. You have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay, so, you know, the limited service market owners, the families have been coming here for the last 25 months since Councilman Price back in April 2023 put that motion to raise the living wages for the hotel workers. We've explained to you on and on, brought people to speak to you that, look, these family-owned hotels only sell guest rooms. That's it. There's no other revenue sources. And that your own city staff, CEO, and the CLA explained to you last week when the question was posed to them, what would happen to the limited service hotels? The response was, we don't have any other services to eliminate to even absorb this cost that you're asking us to pass on to either the consumers, or we're going to find ourselves absorbing some of those things. So it's a quick math. It doesn't make sense. There's going to be a small window for you to still consider exempting 150 guest rooms and all the way down below. You did good with 59, but we need the 60 to 150 limited service family-owned hotels to also be exempt. So we hope you reconsider it in a small window. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Mr. President and the Council, we have represented for past 25 months the best possible way we can. We do not want to abuse this microphone in any form, in any way, but we want to convey a message to you that we care for the city, we care for the employees, and we care for the business in every possible way. We have represented in every aspect of the impact is going to be happening to the industry. Please understand and please reconsider of the, as my fellow partner just mentioned, understand this impact is going to be happening to the city down the line. Thank you so much.
Next speaker. Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Good afternoon. I'm here to speak on general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, City Council members. I just want to start off by thanking you all and taking a step in rescinding the old oil ordinance that we had here. I live in Wilmington, California, and I'm one of those folks that desperately need you to come together and pass a new ordinance to phase out oil drilling in my neighborhood and in the city of LA. Obviously, someone else talked about asset maintenance work that's going on. We have a lot of toxic chemicals being spewed in our neighborhood with no notice. In particular, in my neighborhood, Warren EMP is operating with an expired permit. And I know my council member isn't here, but I know some of his aides are. And I know in District 15, at a point, we had a sign on Gaffey, forgetting the name of it. Point is, council members fought to get it out because of public safety issues. This is a public safety issue, and it's harming the health of our Angelinos. So we need to phase out oil drilling in the city. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
General public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Great.
Hi, my name is Emma Silber. I'm the Climate Justice Associate at Physicians for Social Responsibility, Los Angeles, and a member of the Stand LA Coalition. I want to thank the Council for your commitment to rescinding and readopting the oil phase-out ordinance and prioritizing the health and safety of frontline communities over the profits of the oil industry. However, we need to set an ambitious timeline for the phase-out that meets the urgency of the health impacts that communities have faced for decades. The phase-out period given to oil companies must be reduced to protect the health of LA's next generation and prevent oil companies from shirking their responsibilities to properly plug and clean up oil wells. Since this ordinance is officially rescinded, I also urge the zoning administrator to reissue the interpretation on well maintenance that would regulate toxic acid maintenance operations that have increased since the ordinance was overturned. This is an urgent public health threat for frontline communities living near active oil drilling, and we need to see the city take action.
General public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Tanya Borja, Policy Associate at Scope and member of Stand LA. Thank you to the City Council for rescinding the old oil ordinance and moving to readopt a stronger oil phase-out. I stand with frontline communities impacted by neighborhood oil drilling. The science is clear. Oil drilling causes asthma, cancer, birth complications, and serious health harms. We cannot wait another 20 years for clean air. The phase-out timeline must be shorter to protect Black and brown communities and ensure that big oil is held accountable. Now that the ordinance has been rescinded, we urge the zoning administrator to reissue the interpretation of oil well maintenance. This is a critical step to regulate toxic acid maintenance and protect our communities. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Nancy Lamb. I'm here to speak on urging City Council to pass a new oil phase-out ordinance. Over the past couple of weeks in my neighborhood, I lived near the Murphy drill site in South Central LA. Over the past couple of weeks, we've been living under threat of possible acid maintenance to happen at our nearby drill site. These toxic chemicals are linked to carcinogens and birth defects, respiratory illness, and we just urge the council to move swiftly to readopt the oil phase-out ordinance and protect communities from the devastating impacts of this oil drilling. City leaders must continue to advance a just transition away from fossil fuels that protects the health, safety, and well-being of communities over the profits of oil companies. We cannot wait another 20 years to experience relief from oil pollution. So I urge City Council to move quickly to repass an oil ordinance. Thank you.